What's up? This is Patrick. Welcome to episode 37 of the EETF podcast, Everything Except the Football. I hope you guys are doing great. Today we are doing something a little different. We are going back to Berlin. I had the pleasure to interview from Fotostrasse, awesome and lovely people, Marcela and Felipe. This was recorded in October. So a couple things might sound a little out of date, but don't let that bother you. It was still an excellent conversation, part 1 of 2. Yeah, if you want to join the awesome club, you can do so at paypal.me/EETFpod. You can join Carly, Kevin, Josh, Nick, M-Bags, Carly again, Hector, Tom Norberg, Tony Greathouse, RJ, Woody, Mike Drew, and Lisa. It is very much appreciated. If you want to drop us a line on Twitter, you can do so at EETFpod or leave us an email at EETFpodcast@gmail.com. And that's it. Let's go back in time to October 2021 and join Marcela and Felipe from Fotostrasse in Berlin. Thanks. All right, so first thing first. Oh yeah, welcome to Berlin. So, all right, so we are, thank you. We are at the Muted Horn pub in Kreuzberg. Hello everyone, first of all. And it is my pleasure to welcome to the podcast today the co-creators of Fotostrasse, Marcela and Felipe. How are you guys?
Nice, and you? Yeah?
Good.
We are very good.
Good, and welcome. Welcome to this humble podcast. Okay, so let's start first. Where you guys are from originally?
We are Brazilians. I am from São Paulo.
And I come from the city called Belo Horizonte.
Well, yeah, the 7-1 game.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
Mineirão is the stadium. The 7-1 game happened there. Okay. Yeah, most of the times that I'm talking to Germans about where I come from, I like to mention the 7-1 game or the band Sepultura.
Yeah.
Because they are the two things that happen in my hometown that most Germans know about.
Yes.
So Sepultura and the 7-1 game.
Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, my city is a bunch of concrete. Is 23 million people in one city.
But not 7-1.
That's true. No 7-1, but is home of the best team in São Paulo of football, which is Palmeiras.
All right. I think I'm also an Arsenal fan, and I think Gabriel Paulista played there.
I think so.
Okay, or he went, yeah. Because he played a few years for Arsenal.
We are living in Berlin since 2012, and I have to say that my attention to Palmeiras decreased a lot.
Okay.
Because it's impossible to follow everything from Brazil and still have a life here.
Yeah, in the first few months in living in Berlin, we tried to follow Palmeiras for a while, but it was impossible because of the time zone difference.
Oh yeah.
So the games happen in Brazil like at 9 in the evening, so they happen here at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
it's
about 5 or 6 hour
Yeah, depending
difference.
on the time of the year, it's 6 hours. So it's
It's
too much.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well.
So, did you guys meet in Brazil originally?
Yes, we met in 2008 because of Flickr. I don't know if we have any photographers listening to this podcast, but it was the best social media for photos. I mean, still is, but
it's still there.
it's still there.
But what's
Flickr.
Oh, Flickr. Okay.
Flickr.
I heard liquor.
Okay.
No.
And we moved here in 2012.
Yep.
I came to Berlin to visit my friends that were living here at this amazing punk squat called Kopi.
Yes.
We kind of lived together when I was living in New York. Several years before.
Okay.
And I came to the city just to visit them. And then I was staying for 2 weeks at their amazing house over there. They're still living over there. And I fell in love with the city. I remember calling Felipe. It was 7 in the morning in Brazil.
On a Sunday.
He was like super sleepy and said, "So
We are moving to Berlin soon.
We are moving to Berlin in like 2 years. And it's like, what? It's Sunday, 7 in the morning, what? Well, we didn't manage on 2011, but we managed in the beginning of 2012.
Okay. Yeah, we moved here in the beginning of 2012, like in March 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, we have been living here for almost 10 years now.
Yes.
So it's kind of interesting to follow how the city changed and how the perspective that I had growing up in Brazil, seeing things from Berlin, and the reality that I saw here in 2012 and here now kind of goes in a completely different direction. So for me, it's an interesting thing. Like I was talking to her today because I got this.
Her is Camila.
Yeah, I was talking to Camila that is here with us today.
We are not in a video.
And about like the first album from Ersten Neubauten.
Yes.
I never know how to say the first name.
It's
Ersten Neubauten. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. So there's an album called Collapse from like 1981, and the description of the album itself is kind of this shows how Berlin was in the 80s, and that is kind of my perspective of Berlin growing up in Belo Horizonte and all these things, because I remember seeing the logos and everything else. So when I came here in 2012, I was expecting that, but it wasn't like that anymore.
Yeah.
And then now it's a completely different city, so I really enjoy following up all those things as well.
I have to say that from 2 weeks in a punk squat in 2009 to...
Now.
Oh my God!
Yes,
to that's
now
night and day.
is
Yes.
what?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I still remember when my friend Rock told me that he had a friend living in Skalitzerstrasse that now is like prime fucking
prime real
area.
estate. Yep.
Yes.
How is the fucking?
Oh, you can curse all you want. It's fine.
It's like prime
No
fucking
problem.
area, and his friend had like a 2-3 bedroom apartment in for like 250 euros.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she just rented.
Good
It's
old
like
days.
it's not even like old contract. No, it's like right now contract. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I lived here for 1 year in 2008.
Okay.
In Schönefeld.
Yeah.
Near Vitória Platz, which was already nice.
Yep.
And
love over there.
Oh yeah, it's a really nice area. I remember we had a 95 square meter apartment, and it was 650 in that area.
Warm?
Yes. No, sorry, no.
No. But it's still.
Yeah,
but
it's still pretty good because.
Yeah, I think nowadays it's like 3 times that. Or more.
At least because I was kind of thinking about maybe staying 1 more year.
Okay.
And the landlord came over and told us, well, okay, you can stay, but it's going to be double.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, I think I'm going to go back to Canada, thanks.
Yeah.
And it was the deal with my girlfriend anyway, because, she would have dumped me on the spot. So.
But maybe if you look for other parts of the city, it would be cheaper. So if you travel back in time.
I have to say that, so we moved in 2012. In 2018, when I was looking for a flat with my still boyfriend, we couldn't find anything on our budget, and our budget was not small.
Okay.
But it changed it completely.
It changed completely, like above of where we are right now. That is, it's not quiet.
It's Flughafenstrasse.
It's Flughafenstrasse.
Yeah.
It's not nice. I remember.
Nice. Don't say that. It's nice.
For the price that I'm gonna say is not nice.
No, for the price, I think it's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the day that I came to visit the apartment, Bodinstrasse is the station of the U8. There was literally a person putting shit on the wall.
Jesus.
No,
Okay.
really, like poop, like spreading around. Like kids with paint on
that's performance
art classes.
art.
Yeah.
And
I hope so.
I hope so.
And the apartment was like 1,200, 1,300.
Okay.
Kalt.
Okay.
With
live
next to the shit.
To live with shit.
Nice.
And then I'm like, okay, no. Yeah, no. And then I moved to Köpenick, which is an amazing part of Berlin. Yeah.
But the question was, when did we move it here? And I think we said
Yeah. Well, welcome to Brazil, right?
That's okay.
We never stop talking.
That's all right. But actually, did you have a job lined up when you arrived here?
No.
No.
Like, we came here in a weird way. I was working as a art director for advertising agency in Brazil. And when we decided to move over, I kind of convinced them to bring their agency here.
So they hired me.
Yeah, so they hired
Okay.
her.
Smart.
But it wasn't that smart because I feel like it was, at the time, felt smart, but it was kind of a stupid idea because we were still being paid in Brazilian currency at the same time that we were living in Germany, and at the same time that we were trying to understand the country and living here.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it felt like a safe way of doing things, but it was a mistake. Now I can say that it was a mistake. At the
Currency,
time,
especially.
I don't think the currency was the biggest deal
No,
because
no.
the
It
money
was-
wasn't that much of a problem.
Okay.
Like I feel like the lack of experience, the lack of understanding of the culture was more damaging than the money itself.
Okay.
Because we were here for like a year and something without properly understanding how people live here, how people deal with life.
Yes.
And even the language itself. So like between 2012 and 2013, at least I felt like it was kind of like exchange student thing
It was
because
a very
I wasn't
steep-
integrated in the country.
Yes.
I wasn't understanding how the city goes. I didn't make any friends because most of the people that I ended up meeting were or Brazilians moving over. I didn't meet anybody from outside of the. So it was kind of a weird experience.
It was like you were like in the cultural ghetto kind
Yeah, I
of.
think I was
Yes.
in a cultural limbo because I wasn't properly living in Berlin. I wasn't properly living in Brazil. I was working in Portuguese for Brazilian companies in the Brazilian time zone. So it was a weird thing. So it took a while for me to understand the mistake and to try something new. But we didn't have any jobs or anything like that.
And-
It was just like, yeah, let's go there. Yes,
And
let's
for-
try it out.
And my job was managing accounts in Brazil, here,
Being based in
yet
Germany.
trying to find new clients here. So kind of like a business development.
Okay.
And it was weird because they were doing demands which wasn't legal or possible in the German law.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Because
cultural
Brazil,
difference.
it's a culture difference. Brazil has, there's what we call the Brazilian way of doing stuff. It's like, it's forbidden, okay? But
Yeah.
if you really want, then you can do it.
Again, one of the cultural shocks that we had
Yeah.
in the first year living here because we were still in this limbo of like dealing with Brazil at the same time that we were living in Germany and everything was a little bit weird. But once I started working here in Berlin, I think it kind of went in a different direction.
Okay.
Because I understood more the country. I still speak shit German, so I think this part is still bad. But it was more interesting to understand the country, understand the people that live here, how they deal with things, and it kind of made my experience being here way more positive in every possible way. So
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So did you start taking German lessons right away or?
It was kind of weird because I was talking about this weekend. Like I booked my German class to start like in the beginning of April 2013, and I got my first job in April 2013. So I never had German classes.
You did, but like
no official
work,
ones. I had like
yeah.
at work, and they don't. I don't think they count because it's like an hour and a half a week
And
Yeah,
we
it probably
did
doesn't count.
we did German classes
in Brazil.
in Brazil.
So
Okay.
I think my German was better before I moved in here than it is now.
Okay.
And after a year and a half of staying at home, I feel like my German went even more
Yeah.
to the bottom because I speak Portuguese with my girlfriend, I speak English with the people from the office, and my life doesn't exist in German that much anymore.
Okay.
I have to say that I took exactly the opposite, not the wrong, actually
the
the
opposite.
right,
Yeah, the opposite.
the right way.
Yeah.
I am I'm dating a German. I speak German. Ich arbeite auf Deutsch. My German is far from perfect. You can still see a lot of mistakes, but I do my stuff in German. I have conversations in German. I read in German. I work in German. But I went after. I actually did classes. I went to school. I tried to surround myself in a way with German.
I didn't do that.
No. You did not.
I talk to people in Germany, but in English.
In Germany, you talk to people in Germany. That is
but
very
I speak
nice.
to them in English, so it's a little bit different. Yeah.
I mean, you have a girlfriend that speaks German that does everything for you that needs German.
Not everything. Just a few.
Everything.
Most of the things, most of it.
Everything. It's very comfortable. But when Felipe found his first job, it was when we actually entered the system. Mm-hmm. It was like, finally things are making sense.
Okay.
Because
that's why it felt like before we were in this limbo, after I got my first job and I started seeing things in Germany and working with people in Germany, it felt like everything that I was doing in Brazil at the time, the cultural clashes started happening.
Okay.
Like working in Brazil is one of the things, working advertising mostly, like you don't have, you enter the job around 9:30 in the morning, 10 in the morning, you leave when the job is over. And the job is never over. So you had like 60 weeks, 6-hour weeks. And I remember working here, and I was working for this advertising agency from Munich. They had an office here. And it was kind of weird because I remember my boss, I don't think it was my boss, my manager, like going to me like, man, you are sometimes staying here after 6. Am I giving you too much work? Are you slow? How does it go? And it's like, I should leave. I was just killing time. Okay. Okay, bye. But it was one of these cultural clashes that for me didn't make that much sense at the time. Now I completely understand. Mm-hmm. But every time that I talk to people in Brazil, talking to friends in São Paulo, in Belo Horizonte, they go like, this is odd. you can go? It's like, of course. Yeah. So it was kind of like an important thing to just work in a German environment, in a German company and everything else. So
I think, just to say, I think it was so important for us that if you go to the blog, you will find a lot of articles about working in Germany and the difference and stuff.
And mostly in the first years that we were running the blog, like 2014, 2016, it was kind of like the cultural difference was so harsh. Yeah. So different that I think I was just writing like documents about like how it is to live in Germany, how these things. Nowadays, I think it's more familiar because I have been here for a while. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, it was a really cultural clash. It was like I enjoy going to these articles from time to time, just like, Felipe, this is Felipe from the past going like, life was weird.
Yeah. And also, well, I mean, you mentioned that a few minutes ago, seeing how different life in Berlin was in 2012 compared to now. I mean, I can relate because I remember in 2008, actually, I stayed here for the summer before, summer 2007. And I rented an apartment for the summer and it didn't have an internet connection. So I had to, call the company in my bad German and everything was in German. And nowadays, if you talk to a German person and they spot a little touch of an accent, they switch to English immediately. And
which is very bad for Ausländer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean,
they want to help. I mean, it comes from a good place.
From a good place.
Essentially, it's not helping you.
It's something that I don't remember happening that often in 2012 when we moved in here.
No,
but
nowadays,
used
to do that. That's true.
I think like after 2016 or something like that, it became more common. And we have a lot of friends that moved over from Brazil and from different countries, and they come here, and after a while they just look like, why should I learn German? Because you can deal with your day-to-day life in a really easy way.
That's true.
Which for me it's an interesting thing because it provides the fact that Berlin is becoming more the cultural capital that it's supposed to be.
I beg to differ. I really beg to differ. It's kind of like the capital of Europe,
of EU in a way. So I feel like more in Germany. Yeah. Okay. So
I think I understand. I understand where you come from, but you're coming from a place of a person who do not understand German. And once you actually,
please don't fight.
No, it's not. It's just a different perspective because I was in this not speaking German Berlin, and speaking German in. I am far from perfect, but to understand the city, you have a completely different relationship with
No,
the
absolutely.
whole thing.
Absolutely.
And
It's like, if I can make a small comparison, it's like visiting a house through the keyhole and versus opening the door.
it's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
At least I can say that I know the city well enough without German, but I don't know the people that much.
The thing is, it's just the everyday life. It just becomes easier once you understand what is surrounding you.
I know what's surrounding me, I just don't speak to them.
Whatever. I give up. I'm
not saying that I'm right. I know that I should learn
If
German.
anybody that is listening to this thinks that you can move to Berlin without learning German, yes, it's possible, but is it worth it?
It's not ideal.
No, it's not ideal.
It's not
I
ideal.
mean,
That's
it's
true.
possible, but it's also possible to live your whole life eating French fries. But is it worth it? You know,
But
Is it
that's
ideal?
It's
Yeah.
mostly like every time that somebody from Brazil, somebody that I know is moving over, I feel like the first piece of advice that I say to them is like, don't do like I did, learn German.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Okay, so you've been here since 2012,
Yep.
and what is your status? Are you permanent residents or?
So can I answer that?
Yeah.
So I have an Italian family, even though I am from Brazil.
Okay.
My grandfather was Italian. I have an Italian passport.
Nice.
And this is where the story of Fotostrasse gets what? So we used to be married. We are
Still married?
We are still married.
Okay.
And we are one of those very, very rare cases where an ex-husband and an ex-wife immediately turn into very good friends.
Okay.
And this is how he is
I'm
here.
Yeah.
Because-
We have a family reunion visa. So
He's allowed to
stay here.
everything as a EU citizen is
Except
allowed
voting?
to, except vote. Well, I am not allowed to vote.
Yeah, of course, you can vote on
I can
those,
vote
yeah.
Kommunalwahl.
Yeah, you can vote on a couple of things.
Kommunalwahl, but he cannot.
yeah,
But
not well out.
he can work. He has to pay taxes. He has all civil rights and blah blah blah. As long as I live on the same city as he lives.
Tricky thing, but yeah,
Tricky thing. If I want to move to Paris,
I have to figure it out another way.
he needs to figure
Okay.
out. Not that I will move to Paris, but
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, particular thing, but yeah.
Okay.
we have to figure out how it is with my hopefully new passport soon. I will apply for the German citizenship.
That was my next question.
I will have 3 passports.
I think 2 only because you
No.
cannot be
I
Italian.
can.
Okay.
I can because the law of the EU, the whole idea of the EU is European Union. So it makes no sense for you to lose another
you're Italian.
European
Okay.
citizenship just
Okay.
because you're applying to another one.
Okay.
And
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
Because,
I read about, and then since Brazil, it doesn't matter what you do, you're still Brazilian. Brazil is like syphilis, you know.
That's not the comparison I was expecting, but
once
okay.
you have,
It never goes away.
it never really goes away.
herpes.
Maybe it can.
Like
but
herpes,
maybe not.
actually.
Like
Yeah,
herpes,
yeah,
because
yes,
syphilis,
yes,
it can be cured.
Brazil,
Brazil is
yeah.
one of these countries that you cannot renounce the citizenship.
No.
Okay.
So even though you might become German, you might become Italian, might become Canadian, you're gonna still be Brazilian.
It doesn't
so you
matter
might
what.
renounce the citizenship, but if you go back to Brazil and ask for a passport, it's gonna be like, yeah, okay, you're Brazilian. So then, if you have the papers to prove that you are Brazilian forever.
And it doesn't matter if you have Brazilian parents, as long as you were born in Brazilian
Brazil.
soil.
Yeah, that is
Even
a
if it's on
different
the
thing.
very, very much border,
Okay.
Yeah, you
you're
are
still
Brazilian.
Brazilian. Yeah.
Even if it's at the airport.
Yeah, I think so.
Holy shit. Okay. I didn't know that.
It's
Please don't give birth on the airport.
yeah, please. But yeah, it's how the
That's not
country
ideal.
behaves on that. So it's one of these unusual things from us being from Brazil but living here. There is this distinction. Even though if I become German, I still gonna be German Brazilian. Even though I'm living here for a while, it's kind of hard to renounce.
But you need to learn German.
Yeah, to become German, I have to learn
Yes.
German. Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of my problems when it comes to citizenship
Yeah.
because I could after staying here for this long, I could apply for German citizenship already.
Okay.
But I know Bay-tsvei.
Yes.
I got to Tsay-eins once, but I never...
Not B, B.
B. To Bay-tsvei. So I never managed to go to Bay-tsvei.
Okay.
So I think one day I have to apply for that, but one day.
For citizenship, don't you need C1, Tsay-eins?
Nee,
No, I think it's
Bay-tsvei. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
no. You need Bay-tsvei,
Bay-tsvei,
but you
okay.
need the Prüfung, which means you need to
Yeah,
go
have to do all
to
the
a
tests.
test.
Yes,
And
like
this
a
test
Goethe
costs like
Institute.
100 and everything.
Yeah, I
euros.
met some people from Britain because of Brexit doing those tests, and it takes a while, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah,
Yes,
my
absolutely.
plan is to get the test in December, January or something.
Okay.
But I am going for the Berufsprüfung, which is the Bay-tsvei, and then I will have legal proof that I can actually work in German, even
Okay,
though
yes.
I already have the experience of working in German.
Okay. And down the road, do you imagine yourself going back to Brazil?
No.
I don't think so. Like, I can say this in a weird way because we kind of separated at the same time that I was being fired from a company in 2016. And that was the only moment that I felt like maybe I should go to Brazil because everything was kind of lying in this direction. At that moment, I didn't even consider. I don't feel like now I should consider. And I feel like the longer you stay in the country, the least I consider going back because it doesn't make that much sense. Like I'm 40 now. I have been living in Germany since I'm 30. So I feel like coming back to Brazil is not the country that I met before.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
So
not,
it's
yeah.
kind of
You
not
lost-
even for the political reasons that
You-
exist right now there.
You
but
lost. You
I
lost.
imagine that.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
Brazil doesn't exist.
So the country that I grew up and everything else doesn't exist anymore, and I know that evolving in a different way. I'm not talking about the different way that it evolved because that is bullshit as well. But every time that I go back to Brazil, and I've been to Brazil 2 times in the last 5 years,
Okay.
it's like you can see the changes going every time that I was there. So I feel like, yeah, this is not the country that I would like to live as well. And I feel like the longer I'm here, the more familiar and more comfortable I feel with the country,
Yep.
even without German. So I feel like, if I don't die here, I think I'm gonna be around for a while at least.
Okay.
I have a different relationship with Brazil. I really like going to Brazil. Felipe doesn't really
Yeah, I
like
don't
to
care
go to
that much
Brazil.
about Brazil.
I miss Brazil. I like to go there. I like the Brazilian way of living and stuff, but I don't see myself over there. I don't see there is a wise career choice.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, also that. yeah.
You know,
Yeah, true.
and what I would envision if I have 100% opportunity and I can imagine everything, I would definitely have a house in a beach over there.
Perfect things, perfect scenario. Yeah, of
Perfect
course.
scenario, but
Living there is hard.
yeah. I was talking to my boyfriend when we were on holidays until last week. We are not 100% sure if we want to stay in Germany, but it's definitely not Brazil.
Okay.
It's
You
the
know,
European Union.
maybe I want to have a house, a base here, but with COVID, I work with marketing. So my work, especially here in Germany, is going more and more and more adapted to the remote version
Yeah,
of
same thing here.
life.
Working from home, yes.
You know, on the company that I am right now, I have up to 5-6 months per year to work abroad.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is something.
That's nice.
I mean, this is on paper, but it also depends on your manager, and your manager
Yes.
usually is German. You know, so
All right. Never know.
you know, but.
But you could work in theory anywhere in Germany,
Yes,
in Europe.
and this is something that I really like, and if I ever change jobs, it's one of like top things for my decision. My ideal thing is to have my house in Berlin, and
Viel Geld.
Yeah.
Sehr teuer.
That is a problem. That is a
It can
problem.
be a rented house. It's just like have a base
Oh, okay,
in
Have a
in
place to
Berlin.
go, yeah.
And just I don't know, go abroad for 3, 4, 5 months a year somewhere else. I really like the beach. I don't really like warm weather, but I really like the ocean.
Okay.
It's not that I will go to, I don't know, maybe I'll go to Iceland, but
Never been there. So.
Well, you can go to Usedom in the north.
Yeah,
But it's not an ocean.
Yes.
No, that's
well, it
it's a
doesn't
sea.
matter. I can
Yeah,
go.
it's-
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very just
only a
there.
sea.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the beach. I like the vibe of the beach, and it makes me happy and stuff. But this beach could be Brazil, possibly.
you can still work from there.
I can still work from there. It's gonna be shit with the time zone, but it's doable.
doable.
Yes.
I worked with a guy from Australia once, and it was insane.
It's doable,
yeah, it's
especially
good,
if I am getting my salary in euros and spending my salary in reais.
True. That's true. Your purchasing power goes up.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Way up. So, okay, if we can rewind when you arrived in Germany, what was the one thing that was the most shocking to you culturally? What was the one thing that really blew your mind? I mean, there were a million things, but what is the one thing that you remember? Holy
You
shit.
first or me first?
Go first. Yeah, I still thinking.
Me first. When I arrived in Germany, this is 2009.
Yes.
I come from Brazil. Ooh, Brazil, women, ooh, blah, 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 you know? It was very, very shocking to arrive and have to wait for my friends for the key in a bar, alone, as a woman. Everybody respects you. There was no man doing snarky comments. Nobody trying to, can I pay you a drink? No, can you not? You know, there was nothing of everybody left me alone because everybody was minding their own business. And this was, what? What?
It sounds like it was a weight off your shoulders.
Oh my
almost.
God, it was magical. For me, this was like first hours in Germany. First place that I had that, and I will never forget this. Specifically, bar at Kopi, like this bar
the
with
bar
a
there,
lot of drunks, people that are just like drinking for days over there, doing whatever. Nobody bothers you.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. For me, was that.
For me, was
That's something. That's something as a man that you don't get that channel. You know, it's completely you're oblivious to that sort of thing.
My boyfriend is very like heavily tattooed, blonde, blue eyes, blah blah blah, like muscle boy, blah blah blah. And he said that he was in Schönefeld a few weeks ago, walking close to Nordorfplatz.
Yes.
And was the first time that he understood women. All the men was eating him and just like, ooh, phew, phew.
I swear I am not trying to one-up you, but the exact same thing happened to me in 2009. I was with my girlfriend, now wife, and another friend, female friend, and we were walking down Nollendorfstrasse, and I felt the guy's look. It was insane, and that's the one time I said, "Holy shit!"
He arrived home and said,
I understand you,
what?
woman.
And I'm like, what? And I was like, this? I'm like, did you feel unsafe? Did you feel that you were not comfortable with the way you were dressing, even though you're dressed normal?
Yeah.
Welcome to my everyday life. Yeah, the gay culture is very respectful. There is everything is consensual. It's not what I can say about the heterosexual culture.
Yeah.
True. Good point.
So
And it's very gay friendly, this city as well. That's
Exactly,
worth
you know,
mentioning.
Yeah, they are like, of course, they were saying, ooh, show us something, blah, blah. But they would never do anything.
Yeah, they're not gonna kick your ass in an alley.
They would never do that. And it's something that I cannot say if it was me on the experience with a bunch of straight men. You know, this is the difference that I can say. Mayan just, he felt flattered. He said, well,
Yeah.
if you leave me, at least
He can go there and
I have a plan B.
So,
yeah.
I can say this for me was completely something different.
Okay, yeah, please.
Like,
The amount of beers I can drink.
No, it was not even close to that. Like, coming from Brazil and working online for a long time and working with web design and all this shit, like when I moved in here, I was expecting the country to be more developed than what it is.
Okay.
And for me, one of the biggest boundaries was, like, it took me 45 days to have internet access in my house. And every time that I was mentioning this to people, everybody was like, no, this is normal. And it's like, how?
Yeah.
You just receive a modem and plug it in, and it takes 45 days for you to have, like, shitty connection.
Yes.
Like, my internet in Brazil was cheaper and faster than the internet here.
Jesus.
And that was 9 years ago. I really don't understand how such a developed country can have such a shitty internet connection. Like, when I moved in here in 2012, I remember seeing Flash websites with animations and music and all this shit. And it's like, man, who does this thing?
GeoCities almost.
Yeah, I work as a UI designer, so most of the, like, 95% of the work that I do is online design. So for me, it was a really strong contrast of seeing all these things and going like, I thought it was more. It's back. So for me, it was kind of cool because everything that I was doing was a little bit better than what they had here. Okay. But at the same time, it was kind of shitty because everything was shittier. Like, I remember going to the bank and Berliner Sparkasse online felt like I was going to a Blogspot website in 2005.
It still kind of feels like it.
Feels like that,
and it's
but
2021.
It's still a little bit better, but at the time was kind of massively weird. So, and I feel like it's one of the things that we have coming from Brazil, that we feel like abroad everything's better. Mm-hmm. And it was this cultural clash that I move in here and it's like, oh,
it's not better after all.
So much worse.
Yeah, it's so much worse.
Yourself.
Can I complete that? The first apartment we had together, it took us 58 days to get internet.
Jesus.
And we were working for Brazil. And it's something that in Brazil, even in 2010, 2009, 2008, 2004, you want internet, the next day there's a technician.
It's not just internet. If you want a service and you are paying for a service, the company is going to provide you with the service. Here, it's like, I'm going to provide you something, but it's like, we have a time slot in November 2024.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's exactly that. And it's something that I still don't understand. It still happens today. And what it takes.
It doesn't take 58 days, but I imagine that it still takes like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Because of the German bureaucracy when it comes to those things.
In 2017, it took 50 days.
Amazing.
And what it takes 58 days. You are wondering, they have to build the fucking thing. No, it's a dude with a butt crack outside that literally comes and do look with a key that you can buy on Amazon.
Okay.
Because the way the internet...
They send you a box and you just plug the box online. It's
but you need the butt crack guy to come and do plug.
Wow.
The magic.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. I mean, can you please have the plug already done?
Yeah. That was the most weird thing for me because it still doesn't make that much sense. And I still don't understand how a country like Germany that wants to be that developed and is that developing a lot of different things, it still has these weaknesses in a weird way. I really don't get it.
Sometimes too much structure is not a good thing.
No.
I feel like
that's probably an example of that.
I feel like a lot of times they have this bureaucracy and they have all these things that for me doesn't match with the future of what the country could be or should be. But
I have a funny case. So in 2013, 2012, I was still doing this business development for this company in Brazil, trying to get shit going on here. It was kind of like the boom of co-working spaces and IT and in Berlin, and you have the Silicon Valley.
Prost.
And we got a new beer. Thank you, Camila.
Yes.
And one thing that it was just like sounding so weird in my ears and sounding so weird on Felipe's ear, and we were making fun of that daily, is that we have the Silicon Valley. And Berlin was trying to call itself the Silicon Alley. And I'm like, Silicon Alley, bitch,
my
50
God.
fucking 8 days to get internet.
It's crazy.
And there was all
They
this.
still do that.
They still do that. They have all these incentives for you to start a startup here. As far as I know, you can open a startup and whatever IT or not for €1. It was one of the blue. That's why there's a lot of companies who came to Berlin. Yet the internet sucks.
Hey, you can open the company faster than you can get internet in your house.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can go through all the paperwork.
Try to understand that.
Yes.
You
it
know?
doesn't make that much sense in my head.
I understand processes, but they also
is not a
need,
process.
they need to understand the processes that work in 1908
Yes.
is not proper now. When we were one of our press trips with Fotostrasse was to I think Cologne or Düsseldorf, and we got a Canadian tour
Cologne.
guide
Cologne.
and Cologne, and he said something that is tattooed in my mind. Germany, like Brazil and other countries, they're kind of like jet skis. They can turn very fast and adapt to trends, and they are fast and they are like mobile and stuff. Everything is woo. Germany is a big ship.
Yes.
Germany is like the Ever Given, that one that fucked up the Suez Canal.
An oil tanker, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It takes a while.
It takes a while, but it's more secure. But who needs security when you have stuff going so fast as fiber
Nowadays,
optic?
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
You need
You
to
need
steer.
small and flexible
you
now.
need to maybe go to a sailing ship. You know, I don't know. Maybe
Something in between.
Yeah, something in between. But Germany is still stuck in this container, big ass ship. Because security, Datenschutz. People don't even know what Datenschutz means, but they scream in the streets of Berlin.
Yeah, and they are still on Facebook.
They are, they are complaining
Talk
that
about Datenschutz.
the Corona app with
Datenschutz is a data protection for
But at the same time, they have the
non-German-speaking
names
listeners.
at the doors of every house here.
I'm sorry?
So they're complaining about Datenschutz and have information online. But if you go to every building, they have the names of everybody that lives there.
Oh, yeah. That's
So for me, it's something that doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah.
in Brazil,
That's true.
there's no names. There's only numbers.
Yeah.
So what is your address?
Okay.
Is street blah blah blah, number 13, apartment 14B.
Yeah,
There
here
is
is a name.
it's not my name over there. I don't want people to know where I am.
In Canada, there is a name as
Really?
well.
Yeah.
But,
It's kind of weird because they have this email newsletter GDPR rule, and the GDPR rule is about Datenschutz and about data protection. And if you follow the GDPR rules, you couldn't have the name at the door,
No.
Okay.
but
You
they
cannot.
still there. So they have laws that kind of overrule each other, and at the same time, they don't make any sense.
When we were
beautiful.
getting the vaccination for Corona, we were like, oh, I hope I get the 5G because 2021, maybe
It didn't work. No, it
maybe
didn't
my
work.
internet gets better.
Any way to get better internet,
Yeah.
go for it.
If I have to control, Bill Gates is going to control my mind.
Oh, I don't care.
Please.
Please do it as long as you give me 5G. No, yeah. Didn't happen though. Yeah.
Well, maybe next time.
I think I got the other one. I don't know which one, but yeah.
Maybe when COVID 25 is around, maybe they will upgrade to a 5G for real.
I would be happy with any of the improvements that those crazy people say that we will get. Unfortunately, it's not true.
Not happen. Yeah.
I mean, there are crazy people everywhere back home. I mean, at least back home, it doesn't seem to be as present.
Cannot say the same about Germany.
Yeah, that is crazy people here.
We had
a lot of crazy
we
people.
had the invasion of the capital in Berlin. Like people actually
they
tried.
went to Reichstag and all the
They
shit.
tried
Yeah.
to enter the Reichstag, the QAnons.
Yeah,
like a year
that
ago.
rings a bell. I
It was
forgot when exactly.
before US. It was
Like summer 20.
no. Was
We had 2021, summer 2020, doing the
No.
protests about lockdown because the lockdown was so hard, so heavy.
Oh my
you
god!
couldn't do it. Yeah,
Oh my god! It was so heavy. It was not. You could do everything.
Apparently, yeah, it was a very
Very
flexible lockdown, apparently, from what I've heard.
I still remember one day that we were in this place. I'm like, oh my God, the lockdown. We cannot be outside after 10 and blah, blah, blah. On the time, like on the
we were stressed
we were
that we shouldn't
stressed
be outside.
about, we heard somebody opening a champagne on the park. And I'm like, we are stressed about getting home in time, and there's somebody opening a bottle. Nobody cares. But
Well, that's Berlin. That's one thing. That's both good and bad, I guess.
Yeah, I think in this case of the pandemic, it's not that good.
yeah,
I agree.
But at the same time, I feel like the fact that we were acting more harshly than people around us just showed that we cared a little bit more. But at the same time, people were like storming the Reichstag for safety and freedom. It's like, man, go fuck yourself. Like, there's people dying. You were doing this thing for nothing. Yeah, stop it.
I will die without understanding the problem of wearing a mask. And why a mask takes your freedom away.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine when the people notice that they are using underwear? Can you imagine when they make the connection that,
He has to breathe. He has to...
God made me without the intent of holding my genitals inside a piece of cloth.
Yes.
You know, that's not what God wants. Yeah, but okay, we're going on the bitter. We're going on the bitter path.
That's a good tangent. That's all right. Okay, so your situation kind of forces you to stay here in a way. But if you had the choice to live in another EU country, which one would it be?
Finland.
Finland. Okay.
Yeah. I think Finland was the only country that I visited around the European Union that I felt like I could live here. Like, I remember, like, one of the first trips that we did with Fotostrasse, like 2014, was going to Porvoo and Helsinki, like two cities that I fell completely in love. And it was one of the first times that I remember going to walking around and seeing like these immobilian shops, like the renting property places, and going like, oh, how much is the rent here? Oh, I could live here.
Okay.
Helsinki was one of the first places that I felt like, yeah, I could live here. And yeah, I not consider I wouldn't say that I consider live anywhere outside of Berlin because I really enjoy living here. But if I had to move somewhere, the first place that I think I would consider moving to outside of Germany would be Helsinki.
Are we talking about 100% real plans, but like considering not real plans, but like
realistic.
Considering salary and blah, just
hypothetical way.
Hypothetical way.
But what about the cold?
I don't care about the cold.
Okay, it
No,
was
I
never
don't care at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me this is more than fine.
Not even when you arrived in Berlin wasn't a problem.
No,
either?
like I had to buy trousers here because I didn't have trousers. So for me it was kind of weird. And it was the first time that I saw snow was when I moved in here. Like coming from Brazil, I never saw snow before. And I think in the first week that I was here was snowing and I had to buy trousers and like, man, this is amazing. This is awesome. I was wearing shorts and all this shit. And for me it was still amazing. I still wear shorts.
Yes, but was it your first trip to Europe?
No, it was my third trip to Europe.
Okay, but never any
everything
snow
was
before.
No, I was only here. I was only here for metal festivals in the summertime. So I was there in 2011, and then I moved here in 2012. So my experience was pretty much like summer metal festivals. Then when I came here in March, I was kind of expecting to be springtime because it was already spring on paper.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be. No, it was snowing, and my stupid brain at the time felt like, yeah, I don't need to bring trousers or boots or any shit like that. So I didn't, and I had to buy those things. And yeah, it was a stupid move, but you learn.
Yeah, you learn from it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I would move to Finland, or if I have to tell,
I think Spain. You like more
yeah,
Spain. Yeah.
but mainly because of the food. I love Spanish food.
Spain is nice.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I mean, I love Finnish food, but it's quite
tastier in Spain.
it's quite limited, you know.
Well, yeah, and it's like
potatoes
fur
and salmon and maybe some
Salmon and more fish and more fish.
and
like a fermented herring or sardines or something?
Yeah,
or
something.
is that Swedish?
This is more Swedish.
Yeah, okay, yes,
But
okay.
yeah, they
But
have a lot of
they
things
have,
like that.
which I love it. I don't get me wrong, love it. But we have Spanish food.
Yeah, and it doesn't compare to Spanish or Italian food.
No.
Gotta be honest. That's
If
true.
I have to move for the food,
For the food, there is
it
a
would
different
be
thing.
it would be definitely Spain, Portugal,
Italy.
Greece.
I think it would be
Greece.
just Italy.
Yeah, but weather-wise, Finland.
Okay.
Like I said, I love the salty water. It's not necessarily the warm weather.
And the cold, you don't
I
mind either.
love
Because it's kind of like, coming from Brazil, it's kind of interesting to have the fact that you have seasons. And the winter there is completely different from the summertime. In Brazil, pretty much is the same.
Okay.
So growing up in a country that every day of the year is pretty much the same, except if it rains or it doesn't rain. Like Finland, for me, it's a really special place because in the summertime, you have like 24-hour days. In the wintertime,
24-hour days, you have every time.
no, you have 24 hours of sunlight.
Sunlight, yes.
But then in the wintertime,
Or
the
night.
sun sets at 2 or
Yes,
3
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And for me, it feels kind of interesting to see those changes. It's not amazing, but it's interesting to see those things. And for me, like the contrast between the countryside in Finland and the countryside in Brazil is really strong. Like the beaches with the pine trees and the rocks, and in Brazil, sand and palm trees. It's kind of interesting to see how you can live in a completely different place. So personally, I really enjoy Finland. I wish I could go back there more often, but yeah, for me, it's an amazing place.
I have to say that one thing that Finland has that Berlin doesn't is life in the winter time.
Yeah.
Nothing stops. Here in Berlin, everything dies. There's everybody's like, oh my God, it's too cold.
After the Christmas markets, that's true. It is grey and
It
dark
is.
early, and it
Finland's
sucks.
the same
That's
thing, the
true.
same
Finland
great thing,
is
but there's
the
still life
same.
everywhere.
There's
Okay.
like there's no problems. Like it's something that blows my mind. I am for how long Germany has snow, and yet Deutsche Bahn is, oh my God, there's snow. The
We
trains
can
are
rain.
not working.
Yeah.
Wow, we never expected that.
Didn't think of that. Okay.
But in Finland doesn't happen. In Finland, everything works. You have all the bars, you have all the restaurants, you have all the whatever parties. I mean, it's a very quiet country.
Yeah,
A bunch
But-
of introverts over there, apparently.
yeah, for sure.
But I am
But you
an
still have a city
extrovert.
life in a way.
Yeah.
That
And
is the
I'm-
interesting thing. Like every time I've been to Finland in the wintertime 3 times or 4, I think. And it was always like -10, -15, and you can still walk around, you can still do your things, and it's still fine. There is people going around.
If
I
you're
remember
dressed properly, you're fine. Yes.
like going around, and here it's like
And I
nothing.
think it's
Yeah, no.
because
Kind of calms down completely.
I think it's because it's -15. The snow doesn't get,
Slushy.
Yes, slushy, yes.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
so you can still
Yes.
do your stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And back home, I prefer -15 to -5.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is
For
exactly my
exactly
point.
that reason. Yes.
Like Finland is, when it's cold, it's cold. When it's warm, is very warm. No?
Okay.
Yes.
I've only been to Helsinki for 2 days.
Okay. Okay.
I really liked it.
I've been to Finland like 7 times.
Oh, okay.
We love Finland.
Yeah,
Finland is
Finland's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's your favorite country in
Yeah.
the EU.
It is.
Okay.
It is. I mean, I love
Finland
Spanish food, love Spain, blah blah blah. But
Or Finland or Poland.
but
I do enjoy
I
Poland.
will never move to Poland.
But I would never live in Poland.
No.
But I've been to Poland, I think.
You walked there.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was
I
awesome.
walked there, I cycled there, I took a train there, took a bus there. Like I think I went to Poland in every way possible. And for me, it's one of my favorite countries because of the perspective that I have as a Brazilian, like of what Europe is pretty much everything that you can see in Poland, like castles, old town, all these weird.
okay.
And it's a cheaper country than Germany.
Yes.
And so I feel like it's a easier place to go in my head. I don't know if anybody gonna make sense.
And it has better beer than in Germany.
Yeah,
Yes.
because Germany is too focused on
don't
the
let Germans hear that, but it's true.
Germany is too focused on the purity laws of Bavaria, all
Yes.
these things. and Poland is more freestyle in a way.
You can find bars like this one that we are right now every corner in Poland because they really like to experiment.
What is the name of that law? The purity law? Isn't it like oh God?
It's the Bavarian purity law, but yeah.
There is a name for it. Yes.
Yeah, there is.
It's something Gazette.
But there's a name. Yeah.
It's from the 1500s, right?
Yeah, there's like 500 years of history when it comes to that. And for me, Poland is an interesting place exactly because they have this history. They accept this history. They have this thing about like, yeah, we were part of Germany once, so we kind of follow the same rules, but we're gonna go around it somehow.
But can I put some pumpkin?
I was in Warsaw 2 weeks ago, and I went to a bar that they have 100 different types of beer on tap.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of knew that the Czech Republic had really solid beer game, but I didn't know about Poland, to be honest.
I feel like Czech Republic has a similar
with Germany
beer game than Germany. It's kind of the same Pilsner.
We have the Pilsner. We have
Pilsner
to
Helles kind of beer. And I feel like Poland is a little bit more freestyle. And I enjoy the freestyle a little bit more. I enjoy Pilsner beer and Helles beer all the time, but I feel like Poland has at least this different side. Gdansk has a lot of really good beers. Warsaw has a really good beer. Poznań has really good beer as well. So there's smaller cities around the country that have traditional beer places. So it's kind of a good place to go when it comes to that. As well as the other interesting things that you can see, because it's still an old country with a lot of things to see.
Yes.
When we were invited to work with Visit Poznań, we went for the first time. We actually became friends with the people from the DMOs, the Destination Marketing Office.
Okay.
We are still friends. We still talk to them, and it was like magical because in Berlin, especially back in the days,
in 2014,
every bar. I want to be a crazy bar. So let's have a logo that is like an X with some letters, like like that, and we have like wooden tables, candles, and chalkboard.
Yes.
Menu, and this was the whole Berlin. Look how different and forward thinking we are. We do that, and then we go to Poznań. That is a city that
it's like 10% of the population here.
10% of the population have the Polish history, which was like a country that was super destroyed.
Yeah.
It was like
it almost ceased to exist.
Yeah, ceased to exist. And you have, I think we were there for like 3 days.
No, more. A little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah, 3-4 days, and every bar we went,
it's completely different.
It was completely different than the other one. There was a bar that the theme was dragons, and everything was
really?
fucking dragons.
Yeah.
There was another bar.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It still exists. The last time that I was there was 2 years ago, and the bar is still there with dragons. It's fucking weird.
There was another bar that the theme was kind of like a bunker and cave. So you just enter this little door, and then you go down. And then the only connection between the small rooms is a long corridor. So the bar is actually a maze.
Yeah, that place doesn't exist anymore. But
no, it doesn't. Yeah,
yeah, but it's fucking cool.
Nice.
And it was like how the Polish can manage to do so international, fitting all the profiles and blah blah blah, and Berlin that is, oh my God, I'm so international. How?
Yeah, that's
I love Poland.
It's a little bit like we mentioned before. It's like they are restricted to structure and hierarchy, and it's difficult to think outside the box, I suppose.
It is.
I'm looking at the Fotostrasse logo right now. That site has been around since
2014.
No, 2013. End of 2013.
It's the website started in 2014. We started as a meetup in 2013. So the blog is a little bit younger than the meetup itself.
Okay.
So we started as a meetup because the goal that I had, I was walking around a lot around Berlin, and I was always coming home and talking to her like, yeah, we should go to this place and take pictures of shit. This would be amazing. Let's do these things. And we kind of decided to do this photo trips, photo meetups, and things like that with the friends of ours.
Okay.
And it started as a photo get-together or something like that.
Okay.
But this was like in early 2013, and we started as a blog a year later. So in early 2014.
I know that it could be another episode entirely. Was it difficult to build up an audience? And then I know that you've been invited to a few cities by the tourism office, or I suppose something. Would it be possible to build something like this in 2021? Or
I think so.
I think so. The thing is, when we started, we never thought about becoming a blog.
okay,
We started this as a way of taking my ass out of the house when it was cold to actually do some photography. Felipe needed to learn photography. Right now, he knows photography.
I try my best. But
Yeah, I was working as a photographer for years and blah blah blah. And Felipe has this nerdy version of history,
Okay.
and I have the knowledge of photography. So we both decided to start these meetups on Facebook. Remember when Facebook was cool?
yes.
Long
Long
never
time
really
ago.
cool, but,
Yeah, but-
still. So, and then it started with like one person. And then
Yeah,
it started.
like the first time that we did a meetup,
it was
nobody
us.
came.
It was us.
Nobody came.
It was
it was
us.
kind of a sad moment because
Yeah.
we wanted to go to Vitória Park in Kreuzberg, and the idea was
Snowing.
and it was kind of snowing that day, and it was a
Snowing.
Sunday, so we felt like, yeah, let's go there, take pictures of the things and everything else.
Good pictures when it's snowing
Yes,
as well.
the
Yeah,
pictures
Were really
absolutely.
cool.
The pictures
but
is still really
nobody
cool.
came.
Nobody came.
And it was one of these moments that I remember talking to her, like, we have two choices: or we go home, or we go there, take pictures, and fuck the shit. And we decided to go take pictures of everything
And fuck
else.
this shit.
Yeah, fuck this. Like, yeah, we're gonna do these things for
yeah.
ourselves,
Yeah,
take
absolutely.
pictures of the things that we want to do, and write the things that we want to do. And I feel like this was the behavior that we had since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, we had meetups. We had like 8 or 9 meetups in 2013 until we kind of became more serious and more weird.
Too much to handle.
Yeah, it became too much to
Okay.
handle because we had meetups with like 45, 50 people.
And when you're taking them,
And it's too many people.
Yeah, that's
and,
a lot.
And like when it was like 10, 15, it was fine.
Yep.
50 people is like, man.
it was too much.
And we were doing things for free on our own time. It's like, yeah, we're going to do this thing and explore this part of the town now. Not now, like a week before, we were like posting on Facebook going like, yeah, we're going to go to Tegel. Go there, we're going to explore the shit and take pictures of things around. And in Tegel was summertime of 2013, and I think we had like 40 people or something. And
No,
you had to
yeah.
walk around, and then we lose people, and it's like, then
And people don't have like their bus ticket or something like that.
no, there
Not
was
even that. It feels that we are doing a favor to people, so it becomes kind of like this weird connection with people as well. They feel like you are doing them a favor, so they're like, oh, Felipe, I want to stop here and have a beer. Can you wait
God.
for me? And it's like, man, no.
You know, like you're not paying me.
It's
We
weird.
are not waiting for you and your coffee. You know,
becomes kind of a weird
And it also
experience.
became quite weird because we always like to the abandoned houses, bunkers,
Yes.
blah blah.
Urban exploration kind of
And
stuff.
when you take two people to an abandoned site is one thing.
Yeah.
When you take
25 or
when
40.
you take
No, I think-
40 or 50.
Jesus.
Like the first time that it became kind of unbearable, it was this place in Erkner that we took like 45, 50 people. And I'm pretty sure we lost people. Maybe
Yeah.
they're still there. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it was an abandoned hospital there that I feel like everybody heard about the place, but nobody had the guts to go.
Okay.
So they saw online that somebody was going there. So everybody like, yeah, should we go
And
there?
it's illegal.
And it's illegal.
It's like
so-
it's
Technically,
verboten.
yeah, that's true.
No,
we
no,
were
no.
there
It's
like
not technically. It is. It's written that you cannot trespass.
Okay.
And if we are doing that and people are not behaving,
Then they become your responsibility, kind of.
we were afraid of that.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, we.
If someone falls and breaks their ankle,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Also,
Okay.
or more,
also
because
that-
it's a weird building.
And
It
this
was.
is,
There,
and
it
this
doesn't
is,
exist anymore.
This
but-
is one of the things that you were talking to Ciarán before.
Yes.
And we have kind of like an aligned version because back in the days, there was like these two groups: people who did like to share the location of abandoned places, and people who were completely against that.
Yes.
And I don't think I am the owner of the location, so I would not share. I mean, if I find, people find, so let's just leave it in the blog. But we were always very, very big advocates of whatever you find, you leave it there because your experience has to be the next person's experience.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not there to steal stuff.
No, for sure.
Break stuff, destroy stuff. But when you go with 40-something people...
You never know.
It's impossible. But, okay, so then I'll ask you a follow-up question on that. What about people who go there to do murals?
This is amazing.
Yes.
This is amazing.
This is adding value to the experience, so it's a little bit different.
So you kind of change the place, but positively?
Yeah.
We've been to places that I remember going there in different states, and see the destruction and the decay, because I don't feel like it was us, because if we found the place, other people found the place as well. So I feel like people find these places and destroy them for the sake of destroying. It's like, man,
get alive.
What we mean?
Get alive, man. Go have a beer somewhere else.
What we mean is that don't take the tiles out of the, don't take the things that you find that people were taking the fucking tiles.
Jesus. We've been to an abandoned
spa.
That's
water park.
Blue.
It burned down a few years ago.
It burned down twice.
This is exactly what we mean.
Yeah.
Don't burn stuff. Don't destroy stuff. If you just want to do your art, fine. Yeah. When I met my boyfriend, he was still a graffiti artist. He was doing murals.
Yeah, you went to a few places to graffiti with him.
He was doing graffiti, and for me, it's fine. Just don't do it over artwork. But graffiti artists never cross other artists.
Yes.
I mean, real graffiti artists, people who actually follow that. But what I say is that you find this place with this amazing bathtub that is kind of broken, kind of not.
No.
Do you really need to come with a car to take this bathtub and try to restore and have it in your home?
And we saw this blob. Like, we saw people taking small tiles and taking pieces of stuff. It was weird. Really weird.
There was this couple.
It was the first time that we saw people organize it in that way.
There was this couple inside, because Blue was kind of like a spa, water park, gym, everything. And there was this place that was the Turkish bath and had all these amazing tiles.
Like this tiny 1x1 tile.
Yeah, 1x1 tiles. And there was this couple invested in taking the tiles off.
Wow.
And I remember coming to them like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, this is abandoned and it's so beautiful. I'm like,
take a picture and...
Can you not?
Yes.
And then,
that was a weird day.
I am the nerd who follows rules. And I'm like, maybe, but it's not rules. It's just common sense.
Just decency.
But so this is the part that neither Ciarán or us advocate for. But I don't think a blog on the internet will be the barrier between people finding this place to do that or people not finding this place to do it.
I think you went way too far
ahead. Because this is one of the things that people were accusing us of opening the doors for those.
I remember that.
Remember those discussions that we had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that a blog that is two people that started 2 years ago we are not Die Welt.
Yes.
Yeah. I am not BBC. Whatever I write or not, and the way people find me and interact with my content most likely will be like-minded people that will not like.
So. Exactly.
I mean, here we are right now.
Yes, I understand the debate, and I kind of see both sides.
Yeah.
Because you cannot. I mean, it sucks to say that, but you cannot trust people entirely. So.
I understand.
If you release information, it might be used.
But at the same time, imagine this thing. Like, I'm Brazilian guy moving here like 2012. If I found the place, you're gonna find this place as well.
I mean,
it's not that hard.
That
about that. About
True.
that. Yeah. Fight if you want.
If he found,
that's true.
and
I'm not that smart. If I found the place,
back when we were having those haters,
I'm not that smart either.
No.
that's still it.
No, yeah.
And back when we were having those haters, we were very small. We were like less than 1,000, 2,000 visitors a month.
Yep.
This means all the articles. If I helped one person finding whatever place, that is too much. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This was a very, very beginning of the blog. We started a blog, I would have to say, December 2013, not 2014. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, it's because before we went to Sweden.
Yes, exactly. It was December 2013. And those discussions arise in late 2014.
Okay.
And I mean, it was still back then, it was still kind of like a hobby. We
It's
were
still a
not.
hobby.
It's still a hobby, but
No,
before,
I think it went to like a professional direction and then a hobby again.
Yeah, then a hobby again.
It went down?
I stopped working 24 hours on that.
Okay.
Because we had this idea that we met so many travel bloggers through the years we were handling the blog, and it felt like we could go in a direction of dealing as a travel bloggers. And it felt like, we could do this based on the numbers that we had and the effort that we took. But it never went in that direction. Marcela
It
was
kind
working.
of went, but
Marcela
it was
was working-
unstable.
Marcela was working for the blog for like.
It's kind of risky, that's true.
Was working full time for the blog for like a year and a half, 2 years or something like that.
No,
And-
more.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
And then it never went that much in the direction that we wanted. But during one moment, it was really, really, really good financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was one of these things that go like, I could make money with this shit. But at the same time, it feels so unstable that after a while, it just became a hobby for both of us. And for me, it's still a really cool experience to keep writing about the places that we visit. And I buy cameras to experiment with the blog and everything else. I was buying drones to keep tracks of stuff. I really enjoyed this documentation part of the blog.
Yes.
So for me, it's still a hobby thing. But for a while, we almost went.
We kind
Full
of
time.
went. We kind of went. I still remember that there was like a few months
That we
Felipe-
made more
Felipe-
money with
yeah.
the blog than with my salary.
Felipe,
Yeah?
Felipe always had a job. I quit to travel because I was traveling once or twice a month.
Yeah, you went to the Philippines. You went to like a lot of different
I
places.
went to
Yeah, I went to Nepal, Philippines, South Korea, all the shit.
But
yeah.
after a while, you don't even know where you saw whatever because it's so much.
Yeah. It all becomes
It
a
becomes
blur
a
at
fuzzy
some
thing,
point.
yeah.
But so Felipe is like the constant line with the money, but there was times that the blog did like very, very much over. But this is the part I cannot leave making 5,000 clean 1 month and then €5 on the next.
Or nothing.
Or-
because it happened for a while that we
know?
didn't make any money with the
So
blog for
that
a while.
we had months that we made 5, we made 4, we made 6 or whatever. But it's
Zero.
0, 0, 0, 0. How you can commit to an apartment with that?
It's super difficult.
It's
It's
still
super
fun.
stressful.
But it's still fun.
It was very good. It was very fun. It taught us a lot.
Yeah.
And what's there is still there.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's still
it's
there.
like
we
an
have
archive.
650 articles or something like that.
Jesus.
So we have 7 years of articles. There is 600 and something articles, and I still try to write every week. And man, for me, it's one of the coolest things I ever did in my life was to start the blog and keep going with the blog, because I have a design blog for 15 years.
Okay.
And I have Fotostrasse for 7, and we still have a lot of content to write. So I feel like this stability and this constance of just writing stuff, it's what keeps the things interesting, because I don't know that many people writing for 7 years in a blog.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
and it's
easy
fun.
to get lost in stuff. Yes.
And I think that in these 7 years, I will get cliche, but what we have from the blog is that we met amazing people.
Yeah, we met
and
really
we
cool
had
people. Yeah.
and we still have them as close friends. We have Ciarán. We have the Wojciech from
Poznan.
From Poznan. I still have my Finnish friends from Visit Finland, from Visit Helsinki. We are not working together, but we are still, in touch, connected. We have we met one of the biggest Brazilian blogs in Portuguese for Brazilian people. Is in Portuguese 360 Meridianos. It's in
We
English.
have Canal Alemanizando as
Canal
well.
Alemanizando, which is the biggest Brazilian
YouTube channel for Germany.
channel for Brazilians that love Germany.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Elisa and Rodrigo are honestly our best friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we met because of an
A
article
David Bowie article.
that I wrote
Yeah, for sure.
crying. I wrote crying because David Bowie died.
Yeah.
And we've been to so many weird places as well. Like I traveled to Kaliningrad to write about Kaliningrad.
We've been
and
to
it's
the
like,
Faroe Islands.
yeah, faraway islands, Kaliningrad. We went to Nepal.
I went to Nepal. I went to the Philippines. I stayed in a hostel in the Philippines where there was a insurgents of fucking cockroaches
Jesus.
sleeping out. But it's
Because of the blog.
Because of the blog.
Wow.
And it's one of the things that I feel like if we move in here from Brazil and didn't do anything, I think we wouldn't see the Europe or the world in the way that we saw it now. Like we've been to Finland like a few thousand times, we've been to Russia a few times, faraway islands. I think I've been to like 26, 27 countries, which for me is amazing because I only started traveling when I was 30. I'm 40 now, so I have like 10 years of traveling. And for me, like, it's amazing to be able to see those things. Like, I was in Greece a month
this is
ago,
what I was on.
and I've been to like 9 islands that I never imagined that in my life that it would be.
And we've been with this amazing luxury sailing boat, so it's like the perfect
something that we will never do in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I was walking this place and the guy's like, "Oh, here's where Apollo was born." It's like, wait, Apollo?
Exactly.
Wait,
It was
who?
because
I think I know this guy. Yeah.
He did one cruise and I did this other cruise. It was my birthday on the cruise and it was amazing. It was this PR agency that got in touch with us. God only knows why. They really like our content. They really like how
articles that we
honest
write and all these things,
we are. And they invited us for the photography side, for the history side. And it's a luxury cruise. And it's, when I say cruise, it gives a different idea. It's maximum 20 cabins in a sailing
it's a small
boat.
cruise. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay.
And we will never do this without
We
the
will
blog.
never do. And it was like the most amazing experience I can. Yes, it's not that cheap. Yes,
still
but
amazing.
it's like by experiencing the product that they have to offer, I have to say that if you're 38, 40 something, and you have, I don't know, $3,000 to spend on a week on Greek islands, having the best service and the
best time of your life.
The best time of your life.
It's the best trip I ever did in my
Please do
life,
it.
and we
Please
have been
do
doing the blog for a while now.
Please do it.
Wow.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's like there was, when you spend a week in aboard of a ship and there is not even one single second that I can say maybe could be different, because it's
Wow. Okay.
It is one of the things that I feel like if we didn't start the blog, we would never be able to do it.
and I'm not getting paid for that, but it's running on waves. I'm not getting paid for that, but it's so good. This is honest. This is honest. It's running on waves. They are incredible.
So we can end part 1 because I have something in mind for part 2. If you guys are still good with that
I
time.
think if we just want to stop at part 1, I think I'm going to...
Can
Yes.
I please go to the bathroom?
Yeah, okay, we can end part 1 with one question related to Berlin. What is your favorite thing about Berlin? The one thing that makes...
Favorite thing about Berlin, what I really love about Berlin, it's something that I don't have from my city, is that I have all this chaos here. I have like police cars, ambulance, fighting,
Shit on the
beer,
subway.
Yes.
shit on the subway, blah, blah, blah. I take a train, I get to my house in half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'm in the middle of the forest. And on Saturday when I was coming home, I was playing with a beaver. You know, like a huge ass beaver. I have foxes that are my friends.
Piece of Canada.
Yeah, like it's
Right here.
like I live in this part of Berlin that is mainly animals and nature, which is what I
Köpenick.
love. Yeah, Köpenick. Union. And this is what I like about Berlin. Like, you can take a train for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, but you are in the middle of a forest.
Yes.
And you have boars. You actually have a family of boars in the Tiergarten.
Yeah, on Charlottenburg as well.
You have foxes in Neukölln. Like, that, I love that about Berlin.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like I have a similar connection because I really enjoy the fact that if you take a train from where we are and walk like 4 or 5 stations, it feels like you're in a different city.
Yes.
Like I feel like the pieces of the city that were not connected during the Cold War, they develop in different ways.
Yes.
So since the city
a good
was
point.
split into 4 sides, I feel like every part that you kind of go in Schönefeld, Charlottenburg, Moabit, Wedding, Gropiusstadt or something like that. Johannestadt, like everywhere you see a different place. So one of the first piece of advice that I say to people that are exploring the city for the first time is like, take a subway, go to the
Yes.
last station and walk a little bit more.
Go outside the Ringbahn. There
I
is
remember.
Yes.
life. There is life, and it's an amazing life outside the Ringbahn. I, after 10 years, have to say that sometimes the life is better outside
Yeah,
because
sure.
you can have a more unique experience. It's not
makes
so
sense.
standardized like it became inside.
Standardized
You know,
city
like
life, yes.
you have. There's a deer here. There's a raccoon. There's
As you
what?
said in the beginning, like when I was walking to Poland, I decided to try to see how much I could walk in a day. And I remember taking a subway to Erkner. That
Yes.
is the last city before it becomes Brandenburg. I think it's already Brandenburg.
No, it's already brown.
And
yes.
I was walking
I
from
know someone who
Erkner
lives
to
there.
I was walking from Erkner to Neukölln. And it's like 40 something kilometers or something like that. And it was the first time that I was seeing that part of the city, like Müggelsee and Köpenick and all this part. And for me, it was a really cool experience because it didn't feel like I was in the capital of Germany.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't
yes.
feel like you are in the
Yeah,
biggest city in Germany or like one of the biggest cities in Europe. So you were seeing all these weird things and all this countryside. And for me, it was one of the most positive experiences that I had was like just going to weird subway stations and trying to walk back home. Like
I
did this a few too many times, I think.
I have another thing to add.
Sure.
When, as a Brazilian, so, you know, Brazil, very, very much downstairs neighbors from US. So in the Cold War, all we hear from the Soviet, the east side,
yeah.
is like gray, no life, poor, horrible, don't go. And then you actually move to Berlin, where the east and west is right there, and then you see in the east, because where I live right now in Köpenick, even though we are in 2021, is very much east.
Yeah, it is.
Is very much east. But then you go when you said the Müggelsee, if you go 2 stations on the S3 towards Erkner, and you go to Friedrichshagen,
Yes.
which is the Kudamm des Ostens. So
Okay, they know that.
Oh.
Okay.
it's like you still have the unbombarded Berlin, so you still have those one story high houses from
It's a trip back in time. Yeah.
Wow, okay, wow, that's
it's,
awesome. They know that.
and it's really the Kudamm des Ostens, because
Okay.
it's all these kind of fancy restaurants and these very nice Dorf-like church with a market in front, and you have the tram, and then in the very end of Fotostrasse you have this brewery, and after the brewery, you have the Müggelsee.
And after the Müggelsee, you still have like the little Venice as well,
Yes.
which is a place. It's kind of like after the Müggelsee, between Müggelsee and Erkner, there is kind of disconnections between the canals and the islands. So it became kind of a different neighborhood.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It's one
I
of these
mean-
places that you walk around and you go like, where am I?
People-
Still Berlin? Yeah.
Wow.
When I moved here, I thought that like I don't know, this pretty nice, well preserved places were basically west,
No,
which is not.
there's still a lot of places in the West as well. But this is really a cool experience as well.
There are also very blocks of concrete
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
the,
west.
Yeah,
and
Gropiusstadt is example.
Gropiusstadt, and you have the pretty nice, all details preserved, blah blah blah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a very stupid question. Gropiusstadt is in the
Gropiusstadt
west.
is Neukölln.
Gropiusstadt is Neukölln.
Neukölln.
Yeah,
It's
but-
where
almost to BR.
Christiane F.
Yeah, but okay, but Neukölln is east.
No.
Neukölln is west.
It was West
Yeah,
Berlin.
we're in west now. It's Neukölln.
Treptow-Köpenick is east.
Yes.
Neukölln is west.
Okay.
So do you know
Yeah.
where Rudow is?
Yes.
So Gropiusstadt is a little bit before Rudow.
Yes.
Like 3 subway stations before.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of, the buildings are really tall, but I feel like from the buildings you can see like everything happening after the wall.
Okay.
So it's kind of an unusual position.
Do you remember the movie Christiane F?
Have you watched the movie?
Wie Kinder from Zobenhof?
Yeah, I know about it, but I've never seen the movie, but I've heard about it.
Okay,
But
so whoever
I
watches,
should.
Yeah.
I should see.
watch. Please do watch because the Zobenhof station
It's still the same.
the same, and it's like what?
The Dunlop sign is gone, though.
Yeah, but if you see the movie, there's a lot of things that you go there and like,
This
right?
is where that
Okay.
Lev used
Wow.
to sell his body, whatever.
But Christiane F was living in Gropiusstadt, so she was crossing from Neukölln to go to the Zobenhof.
To the Zobenhof,
Yeah.
and when you see the distance,
It's really fun.
you
right?
understand better the movie. And
Okay.
you see how ghetto she was
Yeah.
growing up because it was
It was really closed down between the sides of the wall because Rudow is kind of like almost an exclave because it's kind of like almost there, surrounded. One side is the Schönefeld, the other side is pretty much Brandenburg. And it's so shitty, that part of Brandenburg that used to be like the garbage.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like garbage, Rudow, Schönefeld.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird place. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
But right now it's very nice to go because
Yeah, it's
the
really cool.
architecture is like what? Yeah.
And the trash now it's the Skypoint, which is a place that I took the drone like 3 months ago.
Okay.
So it's kind of like it's a hill now. They cover
Is
the
the
entire
Lilium-
area,
is
like
the
2-3
Lilium
meters
town?
of. It's a really cool place to go.
Isn't that what they call the Dörferblick?
No, Dorferblick is kind of close by, but
Okay.
it's the same thing. Dorferblick
Okay.
was another trash,
Okay.
but Dorferblick was in the west, the Sky Point was in the east. So they cover both, and it became kind of like a trash mountain, a debris mountain, and both of them are in the same area, like 1 kilometer away from each other. And that is in Rudow, Gropiusstadt, something like that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this ends part 1, and we will be back with part 2. So stay here. Don't go anywhere.